Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Yesterday we were, I read a bunch of articles. One of them was a study that 70% of people worry about climate change. So on our local show, we did an impromptu thing where we had some people call in, didn't tell them what we were going to ask them. And we asked all of them, do you worry about climate change? So the number one thing that worries you, keeps you up at night. Shocker, the economy, inflation. I know it's crazy, right? That was the shocker. Well, what do you mean? Of course, that's what keeps you up at night. When people say they worry about stuff, what do you really worry about? Like climate change. If you ask people, hey, you worry about climate change? Yeah, we need to take better care of it. But unless you were thinking, you were at a climate change meeting, you probably weren't thinking about it. But I tell you what, you are thinking about the rising cost of stuff. How are you going to pay for that? Am I going to even be able to get a turkey for holidays? What am I going to do if I can't get the present my kid wants this year? They've been really good. Santa Claus can only do so much. They, too, are having supply chains issues. That's what people are working at and worrying about. Touting stuff is great. Yesterday, Biden was out at the Baltimore Harbor talking about, stuff. And what have I been telling everybody? You got to act like you're there and you care. You got to act like you're participating. You got to act like it's something that you're in and participating with. And he gave his usual thing. Look, you got a $1.2 trillion package through that I think is good. Could it have been better? Yes, everybody will always say something could have been better. This could have been better. That could have been better. But the reality is I'm still not hearing him really address the issues. People don't want to hear you talk about all the great things that are going on while they know they're suffering and they're struggling. People want to hear you finally address things. And yesterday you had a chance, and at times it was just a quick one line right by something.
Today's economic report showing unemployment continued to fall, but consumer prices remain too high.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. That's it. I mean, that's how you're doing. You're like going by it really fast. That's the lead story.
We still face challenges, and we have to tackle them. We have to tackle them head on. And on the good side, we're seeing the highest growth rate in decades, the fastest decrease in unemployment at this point ever since 1950. Jobs are up, wages are up, values are up, and savings are up. But we got problems too.
People don't want to hear you spend 30 seconds on, we got problems too. And then that's 1 second. And then you go on and on and on. And again, I don't want all the negative. But I think what you have to do is you're going to have to separate them if you're him. One of the things that people have been talking about that the Democrats, and I think quite frankly, not just the Democrats, the Republicans are guilty of it too, depends on the time. When you're in the lead, meaning you've got the House, you've got the Senate, you've got the presidency, you're all of those things. You're the one who everybody sits back nowadays rather than try to outdo them. They're like, you know what? Eventually they're going to trip themselves up. It's like a horror movie. Once they take off, that guy's fallen. She's always fallen. Right? That guy's tripping on some sort of, hole or a stick somewhere. You always know that's going to happen. And that's kind of what politics has become now. Don't say a thing. They're screwing up themselves. Don't. Messaging is important. People are waiting for the message, waiting to hear what you're going to say, waiting to hear if you're going to actually come out and address the issue, waiting to hear if you're going to address it for real, or if you're just going to continue to go on and talk about all the great things that are going on as if nobody else is feeling it. Messaging is important. One of the big reasons they got their ass handed to them last week in several elections, and elections that they shouldn't, even when the ones they won, it was too close for comfort, is because their messaging was bad. Their messaging was poor. Messaging is everything. And they're not giving it, and they're not delivering it. I go over and over again. Just come out, talk about inflation. We got it wrong. We thought inflation would be gone. Supply chain's been an issue. OPEC, they're dealing us dirty here. Understand that. We can do a few things. Let me tell you what we're doing to work towards it, not to ignore it. There's only so much I can do, and you should never wait for government to fix your issues. But at the same time, these are some of these issues government's going to have to get involved with. Absolutely. But no, you don't, and you won't. Messaging. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. Remember this. When you hear stuff like this,
American people in the midst of this economic crisis, the recovery is showing strong results, but not to them. They're still looking out there. Everything from a gallon of gas to a loaf of bread costs more, and it's worrisome, even though wages are going up.
Yeah. Even though wages are going up, it's worrisome. It's worrisome. That's not what the people want you to hear. They want to hear, hey, we're on this. Hey, we're pushing back. Hey, we're making an attempt to do some stuff. Hey, we're looking at the actions we can take. It's worrisome. Maybe not. Maybe not as inspiring. I watched that thing yesterday, and I thought to myself, I don't know if people follow him out of a building. I don't know if he's the go-to guy in a situation where you're like, oh, there's some tragedy and some craziness going on here. Quick, over to that guy. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. It is Veterans Day. To all the veterans, to all the men, the women who served, past and present. God bless you. And you know, for me, my uncle who passed away several years ago, you know, he served in Vietnam, and it is, we see it all the time. You know, how our veterans are struggling with PTSD, with, you know, so many issues from suicide to you know, homelessness, drug addiction. And, you know, it's one of those days when, you know, we think about it on a day like today, the sacrifices that people made. But all too often, you know, the minute this day's gone, like everything, we have an attention span of a gnat, and we're all wrapped up in a world. I'm as guilty as anybody. But to all the veterans, to all the men and women who served out today, God bless you. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. All that being said, for all the stuff that is going on at this moment in time, the Delta virus is still out there. You've got places like California. Oh, they're already starting to do what? Ooh, you know, Gavin Newsom's out there starting to pitch the dream about, you guys got to watch out because here it comes back again.
Last year, we had a challenging winter, particularly down here in Southern California. We started to see around this time last year case rates, positivity rates, hospitalization rates, ICU numbers start to increase.
Oh, so guys, double, triple mask now. Double, triple mask. Double, triple, quadruple mask.
Around this time last
year. And he kept saying something else, too. Winter's coming. And apparently, the way he said it was kind of very much like the TV show, is it Game of Thrones? With the Dark Knight, or the Dark whatever it was, and the zombie things that were coming, and that's the way that they kind of pushed at it. The winter's returning.
Last year, we had a challenging winter.
Yeah. And you challenged yourself. Now you got all this chaos and craziness that is going on in California. But one of the things that people were talking about, and this is something that's very interesting, he didn't go to the CO26 or whatever it is, the climate change thing. And if you guys know anything about Gavin Newsom, who wants to be president, he lives for this stuff. And people are saying inside of his circle, because he disappeared for like 10 days. Like, this guy lives for this. That's like, do you remember when Simone Biles, she just didn't compete? People were like, oh my God, what was going on? Same kind of thing with this. And people are saying that he got the booster shot and it kicked his ass, made him very sick. He would never say that, but when you see him, you're like, he doesn't look right. He doesn't. He doesn't look right. But I just want everybody to understand, this is what's coming. A majority of people have either had this or have got a shot. Young kids are getting the shot somewhat. But all that being said, know that there'll be some bumps in places and be prepared for the, everybody triple, quadruple mask. I just have a sense it's coming again. People love power and wielding that power. But I think what they're finding is, and this is something I think is frustrating people, is they're finding that people aren't getting the booster shots. Because I think people are like, I'm not quite sure I'm believing everything you guys are saying. I'm not quite sure that I'm buying what you're selling. And it's odd that every channel I turn on to, especially when it comes to the news, is sponsored by Pfizer or somebody like that. Just throwing it out there. So be prepared. The push is on. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Twitter, tweet, text the program. My Pillow is awesome. Right now they got the Giza Dream Sheets, 2 for 1, buy one, get one free. Long staple cotton, grown right there in the Mediterranean. It is the best sheets you're ever going to own. So the BOGO, buy one, get one free. You buy a set of sheets, you get another set for free. Machine washable. They are incredible in the feel when you slide into them. Never too hot, never too cold. Perfect is what you're looking for. Best sheet you're ever going to own. From king all the way down, different colors, sizes, the whole 9 yards, 60-day money-back guarantee, 1-year limited warranty. Deep discounts across all of the MyPillow products. The MyPillow, the mattress topper, which is my favorite thing, the My Slippers, which are incredible, the towels and everything in between. Yeah, they even got dog beds as well. Go to MyPillow.com. Make sure you use that promo code Benson to save big and grab these buy one, get one free MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. You will love, love, love these. Perfect holiday gift. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Running with scissors sounds great compared to this.
Say what? Say what? Yesterday, Kamala Harris went over to hang out with the French. She saw Macron. It's funny because they show these pictures from all the leaders that Macron has met in the past, and he's given pretty much everybody kisses. It's the French thing, right? Like my neighbors when I was in England were French and Italian, and they were the most amazing people. But, they would all come up and give you hugs and kisses, and maybe it's COVID or not, but just shook her hand, Kamala. But listen to this. She's got stuff going on here. I mean, I don't know. If you're the Democrats, what did I just talk about? Messaging. If you're the Democrats, you're like, okay, no more off script.
We campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P, the plan. And then the environment is such that we're expected to defend the plan. Even when the first time we roll it out, there may be some glitches and it's time to reevaluate and then do it again. The plan. The plan.
What the hell are you talking about? Are you trying to be French? Because you sound like Tattoo from Fantasy Island. The plane, the plane. I get it, dude. We see the plane. All right? We see it. It's right there. We see it. Here it comes. We get it. We campaign with the plan.
The plan. The plan.
The plane. The plane. One of the first stars I ever met. Hervé Villachez. Did you guys rack that? Did you put that over there? Everybody remembers the first star they've ever met. My first star was Isaac from the I think pretty much only ever met ABC stars back in the day from Love Boat. That was my first star I ever met. I was at a soccer camp at Long Beach State, and I don't know what he was doing there. Maybe he was teaching theater or something, but he was there for whatever reason. And we went into the cafeteria to all eat because, it was we'd start at 8 in the morning, go to 4, and then we'd have our lunch. And he was in there and everybody was around him. And it's like, oh my God, it was great. It was great. I was like, oh, this is awesome. The plane. How bad look, if you're the Democrats, messaging is one thing, but you've got a problem. Not only is your president, my president, though you people over there, yeah, you people in left, right, center, everybody, your president struggling. But if you're the Democrats, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you're not quite sure if Biden can go the distance. And I'm not just talking about these 4 years, but if he says he wants to run for another 4 years, and are you going to run away from Harris? A woman of color? I don't think you would, but I think people are going, this is a nightmare. Even Jimmy Kimmel's taking notice.
Kamala Harris has an approval rating of 28%, which makes no sense because she basically has nothing to do. I mean, it's like criticizing a backup quarterback. Tom Brady's okay. I don't love the way Blaine Gabbert has his legs folded on the bench. I have to be honest. Kamala's approval rating is even lower than the 30% who approved of Dick Cheney in 2008 after he shot a guy in the face. I think I know why Kamala's ratings are low, besides sexism and racism. It's because whenever she's next to Joe, standing near him, behind him, she looks like an assassin. She looks like, right? Especially with a mask.
Yeah, got to throw the sexism and racism. That's everybody's go-to. Do you think it's because they don't like a woman? It's got to be. Do you think maybe it's because they don't like it? She's a woman of color. Well, that's a double whammy. What about maybe she's just not very good? Or even she may be great at other stuff, but she's not very likable in front of the camera. Could it be that? Nope, can't be. If you don't like her, the only thing they could just put in, it's got to be racism. That's the go-to. Right? That's the go-to playbook for everything when you criticize something, in particular on the left, right? Is they're like, it's racism, it's sexism, it's homophobia. It can't just be, you know what? It's not very good. She's not very good. Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
I've been watching some of the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. You guys might remember he was 17 at the time, and in Kenosha. That's in Wisconsin, for those of you not keeping score. It was the summer of discontent. There were, things going on. Then there became rioting and looting. And it went from protest to rioting and looting. And Rittenhouse, a idiot, I'll say that, not a hero. Just want to say that. A misguided 17-year-old who thought he was going to go defend people's property and whatnot. I don't know what. I go back to this again. It's parenting. Parenting. You should not have been there, and you shouldn't have been there with a gun. But you were. And now you're on trial because you killed two people. You killed two people. That's it. You killed two people. He's on the stand. It's been a very interesting trial, to say the least, if you've seen it. First of all, the prosecution's done a really poor job and has been told so by and scolded by said judge.
The judge scolding the lead prosecutor for attempting to discuss a video of Rittenhouse from days before the shooting, even though the judge had ruled the footage inadmissible.
You know very well that an attorney can't go into these types of areas when the judge has already ruled without asking outside the presence of the jury to do so.
The defense is now seeking a mistrial with prejudice. If the judge approves that request, Rittenhouse cannot be retried for the crimes.
Yeah. And it was a day yesterday where he was on. I think a lot of people are asking, why is he on the stand? Why is he on the stand? And he was emotional.
There were 3 people right there that right, run.
You can just relax for a minute, sir. We're going to take a break.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I've watched some of this, and this has become, if he gets off, it's only because of white supremacy, even though he killed 2 white men, shot another man that was white. And it's funny because yesterday people were, because, again, I've touched on it briefly. People were saying, this guy, he shot, 3 people, and yeah, he shouldn't have done it. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind. And this is what happens, right? We just saw it at the concert over this past weekend. You have a bunch of people in a crowd. People are hyped up. Then there's guns, probably some alcohol involved, and a few other things. People are on edge. Things get a little wacky. There's a shot that rings out, which there was, that had nothing to do with any of these people. Then all of a sudden, chaos, and chaos spreads. The defense is alleging, hey, this guy was attacked not once but twice by people who tried to take his gun away, and he shot them. Another guy who was shot survived. Said, I had a gun and I pointed at him, but I was going to surrender. Yeah, I don't think he knew that. And he got shot. But the funny thing is, people are like, Chad, you need to say their name. I'm like, who? The people who got shot. I'm like, Joseph Rosenbaum? I said, I got to be honest with you, man. He's a child molester. I'm not sleeping any different at night. Probably a little bit better. He was convicted of raping 5 boys between the ages of 9 and 11. Having gone through that, Kyle Rittenhouse isn't a hero, but I don't feel sorry. And we talk about this all the time. You play a stupid game, you win a stupid prize. If I go to a place where I know there's going to be trouble, it's because I want to participate in the trouble. This kid should never have been there. Ever. But he was. Where's mom and dad? What the hell are you doing? Should never have been there. But he was. When people go to not a protest, you show up at night at a place where there was a protest, a march, whatever it was, but you're not showing up for that. You're showing up for the latter part of it. You're not interested in anything other than participating in what might come. And that's what happened. Do I think if he had to do it all over again, he would not have wanted this to happen? Of course. Duh. But it did. Dan Abrams.
The problem with a breakdown like that is if you're inclined to believe him, you feel sorry for him. And if you're inclined not to believe him, you think he's faking it.
Yeah. He's a really good actor if you think he was faking it. But how much of that is because he has remorse and how much of that is because he's terrified? Probably a little bit of both. All things being said, what the hell are you doing there? What the hell are you doing there? That's a fair question to ask. Because you're not interested. At least I'm thinking you're not interested in anything other than causing hell. Or hoping that hell happens and somehow you're going to be a hero. Somehow you're going to be some sort of super warrior. On the other side of things, you play a stupid game as well, you get a stupid prize. You showed up, you're out there, you tried to take his gun not once but twice, and in the ensuing kerfuffle, allegedly, shots rang out. One guy pointed a gun at him and said that. I pointed a gun at him. What did you think was going to happen? If I have a gun and you have a gun and you point a gun at me and we don't know each other and there's chaos going on, there is a very good chance that I'm going to shoot at you, and there's probably a good chance you're going to shoot at me. Just me. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. I know it'll all be about race. Speaking of race, Winsome Sears. Joe Rogan was talking about it. If you don't know who she is, she's Lieutenant Governor of Virginia now. And she's the one that people came out and said, that Winsome Sears is, she's a puppet for white supremacy. And that's all she is. That's what she is. She's a puppet for white supremacy. And you're just like, what are you talking about? Not everything is white supremacy, but there's big money in that, right? This is Elie Mystal. If you guys don't know who he is, he's always on MSNBC. And this is the thing he said the other day when talking about, here's a perfect example, when talking about what happened in Virginia.
What the Democrats' theory of the case is that the white non-college educated voter.
So the white non-college educated voter, translation, the average person, maybe did a little college, right? Maybe works with their hands, isn't as intellectual as this guy. No. Elie Mystal, nobody's as intellectual as this guy unless you've gone to college. So this is why they being, not like a pronoun, but they being the white non-educated voter voted to oust the Democrats and give power to the Republicans.
Cares about things like kitchen table issues, like infrastructure and pipes and how many gallons of milk you can put on the table. I contend that what they care about is using their guns on black people and getting away with it. That's what they want. That's what they actually are in it for.
Man, are you worried about inflation? A little bit. You worried about, your job? A little bit. What's the number one issue for you? Oh, I'd like to be able to go shoot black people. That's your kitchen table issue? Yeah, but only if you're non-educated. If you're white and you're educated, then obviously, you're amazing and all is good because you're probably an ally and stuff. That's the insanity. And I keep saying that's why Trump. That's why people push back. That's why this culture war is getting uglier, because you can come out and say the reason that you guys voted for this is because if you're a white suburban woman who's worried about schools and the rising cost of stuff and the fact that you're not addressing the issues that people are worried about, that you're only protecting your whiteness, it can't be just because, by the way, let's remember the guy that lost was also white. Let's remember that. And then, of course, Winsome Sears, who is black, well, she's just white supremacist.
A black white supremacist. That's possible now. They're saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime a black person says anything like doesn't go with the Democratic narrative, they said that person's carrying water for white supremacists. They're out of their mind. That lady that was the new lieutenant governor of Virginia is a black woman, sponsored by the NRA. I mean, I don't know what all of her accolades are, but incredibly articulate lady, powerful woman. They're saying that her becoming the lieutenant governor is a victory for white supremacy.
She's a black woman.
She's a black woman.
Yeah, that's just it. I posted that. Somebody's all, oh yeah, just like somebody's like, they're absolutely right, Chad. That's all she is. All she does is continue to prop up white supremacy. That's it. That's all that she is. 100%. She is just more white supremacy. Kind of like, and then they start going off and just naming anybody who doesn't believe in their ideology and thinks outside of the box that isn't that Democratic little narrow box.
When Larry Elder was running for governor of California, they said he's the black face of white supremacy.
Yeah, that's right.
What? What the f*** are you saying? Like, you could disagree with the man's politics, but that white supremacy is like a stamp they like to put on as many things as they can. Like 15% off.
Yeah.
100%. And that's the go-to. The funny thing is, nobody buys it anymore. Nobody does. You're only talking to the people that already believe that. Tell me how really this person is evil and bad. Tell me how this person is continuing to prop up white supremacy. Because they believe in freedoms? Well, yeah, because it's a white thing. Because they believe in owning guns? Because tell me how That is, don't just but it's easy to do. Because the whole thing is, it's just easier rather than having a discussion to label somebody something and then just walk away. You're a Nazi. Well, there you go. Well, you got somebody. That's just it, right? They have their little guns, but it's not guns. It's their insult. Nazi, homophobe, Islamophobe. Wow, look at me go. White supremacy. Bigot. Transphobia. Anti-Semitic. I like that one, too, because Ben Shapiro is totally anti-Semitic. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from you. All right, Rough Greens. Give it to my dog every single day. I have a friend here, and she's got dogs, and she's tried everything. Like, everything you can think of, because one of her dogs is bigger. They're bigger. They have some hip problems. They've tried everything, CBD, all this kind of stuff. And I just started saying, try Rough Greens. Gave her a bag. She's like, can I get some more? I said, yeah, because I said I had a really small bag. Yeah, try this. Now she's ordered. I didn't know that. And she's like, yeah, my dog's got more energy than she has had in years. She's bouncy and happy. I said, it's Rough Greens. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. You go there, guess what you get? A free bag of Rough Greens. They're just going to ask you to cover the cost of shipping. Nothing more than that. Not asking for anything more than that. How cool is that? Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, all this incredible stuff. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. Try Rough Greens, the supplement that works for your dog. Sprinkle it on top of your dog's food and watch the difference. RUFFgreens.com/Chad or call 833-MyDog77, 833-MyDog77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
If you're part of the politically exhausted majority, don't fear. Your time to be validated and rejuvenated is here. Wake up. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Yes, it is. NFL. Give you guys my full picks tomorrow. Tonight, one game. The Ravens take on the Dolphins. It's an easy one. Ravens win. Dolphins, well, they're the Dolphins. They're 2-7, and they're just not very good. Tonight, got the Ravens and the big win. Mark it down. Full picks tomorrow. You guys know I like soccer. If you haven't heard this story about what took place in Europe and the competitiveness of soccer, this is amazing. This is a true story about an angry player because she was angry at another player for taking her spot.
A soccer star in France accused of hiring two masked men to attack a teammate in a bid for playing time. The Paris Saint-Germain club confirming in a statement that midfielder Aminata Diallo was taken into custody on Wednesday as part of the proceedings opened following an attack on a teammate last week. The victim was treated at a hospital and now has several stitches in her hands and legs. Police are not confirming whether Diallo was arrested on suspicion of orchestrating or having a role in the attack.
I think we're kind of going with that. And I'm like, apparently, it's like a crowbar. And I'm like, God, that sounds familiar. What is it with women, sports, and crowbars?
What happened?
Why? I don't know. Some hard black stick. Something really, really hard.
What down that way? He's a white guy, tall, leather jacket.
So he went down this way.
He just whacked me with this long black stick.
Just send me to jail and then I can still skate.
I've given
Just send me to jail and then I can still skate.
I've given you my decision.
Oh, God. Nancy Kerrigan. Why? It was a bad beating. Apparently, she was in the hospital. Serious injuries after being attacked by two thugs at home. But some people saying, well, they were, enemies in some ways, but they were also at times close. So was it more than just playing time? What? Yeah. So what they're saying is people followed this soccer player home. All right. So Humari. And they were out to dinner, followed her home, and then attacked her. So when Diallo and Harmani were approaching the latter's house, two hooded men appeared out of nowhere, took the former Barcelona player out of the car, beat her up without attacking Diallo at the time. There is also a hypothesis pointing to the unusual route that Diallo chose to take on the way home that was different than normal. So, crazy. Why? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from all of you. Happy Veterans Day. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Inflation up, people's worries up, cost of stuff up. People are frustrated. How much? Now remember, hey, inflation's only up 5%, 3%. It's only going to last temporarily. And then, some of it's the supply chain, a few other things. But, all in all, here in a few months, it'll go away. Now they're talking about late next year, maybe by summer. But we've already heard that before. But it's only going to be up 3-4%. With wages rising, that should cover everything.
This is hitting the budgets of American families in a significant way. If you look at what a family of four would have spent a year ago on that monthly food budget, $674. Today, it is more like $849. That is up 26% from a year ago.
You feel that? You feel that. That is huge. Gas prices, up. One of the things I've talked to people the last couple of days, I'm like, you know what? You're looking for solutions and you're trying to find people to work. You know what I would be doing? Offering the people the opportunities to work from home because it saves them gas. Oh, yeah. It saves them gas. Think about that for a second. See, for me, I have a huge drive in every single day. Some things you can't work from home. But maybe you figure out a way, hey, if I got to do some extra stuff, give people one day off. Little things like that can go a long way, but we work from home for so long. So rather than bringing people back in the office, say, look, you know what? Instead of giving you a raise, I'm going to give you the opportunity to work from the house. Because instead of driving 30, 40 miles a day and having to fill up maybe twice a week, you don't have to do that. You're saving yourself X amount of dollars. But the grocery thing, that's real. My local show, my on-air partner, Gatos, his wife, Lynette, she sent a picture yesterday. She was at the store where the turkeys are. So you got all the, where the turkeys are supposed to be. It's just this giant, empty, nothing in there. And they said, we don't know when we're getting the next batch. But it's not just there. It's all over the store.
This is hitting Americans in every aisle of the grocery store. A gallon of milk a year ago would have cost you $3.38. Today, it's more like $3.66. Eggs up almost 12%. Cereal prices up 3.5%. Fresh fruits and vegetables up 3%. Ground beef prices up 13.4%. And bacon up 20% from a year ago.
Here's the scary thing. And I want you guys to listen to when she talks about milk.
A gallon of milk a year ago would have cost you $3.38. Today, it's more like $3.66.
Why is that important? Because we have an abundance of milk. And that shows you what the cost of fuel and getting things from point A to point B can do. The cost of fuel, not milk. In fact, we have so much milk, we can't give it away. Well, why is that? Because milk isn't what milk was, right? People don't want milk. I want milk that's, it's soy milk. I want, almond milk. I want this milk, that. We have an abundance of milk, a plethora, if you will, of milk, and it doesn't matter. Prices are still rising. It shows you what one little thing can do to cause a jump. Yesterday, Biden out, touting his amazing $1.2 trillion infrastructure plan, which he's supposed to sign next week, which I think is a good plan. I think, look, let's $1.2 trillion. This is the way I break it down. $400 million will actually go to stuff, and the other $700 million will end up in other people's pockets. So 400 to 500 billion, even if we split it, let's say 600 billion is going into the actual construction stuff, and the other 600 billion will end up in other places, as we all know. All that being said, he's out there touting it, as he should, still not addressing it in a deep way of what people are feeling outside of talking about how great everything is, which is, as a president, you're going to toot your own horn. Zero problems with that. But you're still, when you try to address this, it's with, we know people are struggling. We know these things are, you're not talking about even trying to use the might of the office to think outside the box on ways that you can help.
We still face challenges, and we have to tackle them. We have to tackle them head on. And on the good side, we're seeing the highest growth rate in decades, the fastest decrease in unemployment at this point ever since 1950. Jobs are up, wages are up, values are up, and savings are up. But we got problems too.
That's it? That was your go-to? We got problems too. Yeah, we got problems, right? We got problems.
Today's economic report showing unemployment continued to fall, but consumer prices remain too high.
It's not. I think people are maybe looking for a little bit more. But you know what? If you're not going to really address it, and I'll be honest, I don't think he's articulate enough to come out and address it a way where people are going to look and actually address it the way it needs to be addressed. I don't think people believe he can pull it off. I don't. And so this is what you get. This is it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Coronavirus still here, not going anywhere. Why would it? First of all, it makes great politics for the politicians. Frustrating for us. Think about this, though. God, you think some of the people in certain states are salivating over, can we do this? Austria's chancellor has threatened lockdown measures for unvaccinated people as cases start to rise. Germany is seeing a rise in cases right now. But Chancellor Alexander Schallenberg said unvaccinated people in Austria could face new lockdown restrictions if infection numbers continue to rise, which they are. So is that where we're going to go in some places? Could you imagine that? I mean, the beauty of our Constitution is the fight would be real, and I think people would push back in a way, even people that are vaccinated, that would be, I hope, would be strong. But don't think that there aren't some people out there, some governors going, I wonder if we can do that. I wonder, is that a possibility? Could we push? Could we do that? Could we at least try it? I think some people will be mad, but the unvaccinated, and I go back to this. If you're vaccinated, what do you care about the unvaccinated? If you're vaccinated, why does somebody being unvaccinated scare you? Well, yeah, but they could have it and they could give it to me, but you're vaccinated. Well, yeah, but it's not 100%. Okay. But you could also give it to them. Oh. Yeah, I guess you could. Gotta think about that. Why do we still have to wear these damn masks? That's piss everybody off. You want to get people vaccinated? Do what they're doing in Austria, by the way. Just to let you guys know this. Austria is thinking about, I'm letting you guys know this, they're thinking about locking the unvaccinated. They're thinking about it. But they're also offering a free jab with a jab. A brothel in Austria is saying, hey, you come here to the sauna club and you get a jab, you get a 30-minute voucher with the lady of your choice. There's some people that are going there at this moment in time. This guy's been vaccinated 800 times. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Speaking of Twitter, they're offering a new subscription service for $2.99 a month that would allow users to access new features on the platform. One of them is an undo button. They can preview, perfect tweets before they are sent. So, Twitter Blue also gives users access to the most shared articles in their network. It's $2.99 a month. I don't know if people are going to go for it. Maybe if you want that, you know what would be good? Like finding out a way that you, if people try to take a picture of it or screenshot it, that it dissolves or something goes wrong. I mean, that can't, but wouldn't that be like, people would pay for that. So you'd only be the one. So if you go and delete something, you're the only one who's supposed to have it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Shows your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. MyPillow, Giza Dream Sheets on sale now. Buy one, get one free. You order a pair, a set, you get a set for free. It's that simple. Made with long staple cotton. Comes from the Mediterranean, right between the Mediterranean Sea, Sahara Desert, and the Nile River. And it is the most comfortable, cool cotton. Their patented technology, along with that cotton, gives them the best feel you're ever going to have with sheets, the best sheets you will ever own. You buy a set, you get a set for free, from king all the way down, all the sizes, tons of colors, 60-day money-back guarantee, 1 year limited warranty. Right now, get your MyPillow Giza Dream Sheets. So the Giza, because they're grown over there in Giza, the Giza Dream Sheets. You buy a set, they give you a set for free. So you could buy yourself a set and then give the other set for free as a Christmas present. See what I'm doing there? Helping you out. Go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Check out all the other deep discounts across all the MyPillow, including MyPillows, the Giza Dream Sheets, buy one, get one free. They have dog beds. They have got mattress toppers. Get it now. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
No need to socially distance while listening to your Chad Benson Show podcast. 4 out of 5 experts say so.
I'm a scientist. There is no corona.
But hurry before they change their mind. You know they will. Chad's podcast found on iTunes, iHeart, Spotify, and wherever you find your favorite COVID-free podcasts.
Oh my gosh. I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie.
This is the Chad Benson Show.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, ignition, liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? Let us take a peek, find out what's trending. Let's go over to Twitter. Kyle Rittenhouse is twending. He's twending. He is. Hashtag Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty. Hashtag free Kyle. LeBron James is one of those who criticized the 18-year-old after he broke down on the stand. Basically told him to man up. Man up. So you got free Kyle Rittenhouse and hashtag Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty. That's where we are. Oh, my Lord. I'm telling you guys, this is it. This is the battle. We're battling over a 17-year-old who's now 18. Over him killing two people, him saying that it was self-defense. Others said it was murder. And we have taken sides. And people have already, even if they come back and they say he's not guilty, people will still say he's a murderer, he killed it. There'll always be something. It is crazy. PSG woman soccer player arrested after her teammate was attacked. They're not releasing why, but the speculation is that she paid some attackers to turn her into Nancy Kerrigan. Head on over to Google. Head over to Google. Veterans Day. Over 2 million searches. Ceremonies going on throughout the country today. We're going to tell some stories of veterans later. Some heroic stories. Stories that maybe people have never heard, including Roy Benavidez. And if you've never heard his story, it is the most insane story, arguably, in modern history. Kyle Rittenhouse, also CMAs last night. That's the Country Music Award. Rivian, if you guys don't know what Rivian is, that's the new electronic automaker. Their stock debuted, and it's through the roof. Paul Rudd, sexiest man alive. Shailene Woodley is going after the media for attacking her fiancé. The actress is upset because her fiancé is Aaron Rodgers, and people are coming after him because he's a bad guy. Apparently, he's not a bad guy. People are like, you're defending him. I'm like, I'm not defending him. I just don't care. It's like, so what? He lied. And he's fine, right? He's fine. Well, the reason is people don't like the fact that he got away with stuff that others don't. Yeah, that's the world we live in. Are we still unfamiliar with that? Some people get away with things because some people, to companies, to teams, to organizations, a little bit more valuable than other people. And because they shouldn't be that way. We're not saying they're better human beings. We're just saying to that particular whatever it is, this person's more valuable. Aaron Rodgers is more valuable to the Green Bay Packers. But one of the things he brought up the other day, which I thought was great, because I get tested more times than just about anybody. I'm tested several times a week. So, some of this stuff's insane. But in a world where you've got the exhausted majority who are just like, let's just learn to live with this thing, through this thing, and around this thing, you also have people on the other side, right, who, and by the way, a lot of people in the exhausted majority vaccinated. I've taken the shot. But you've also people on the other side who, for whatever reason, they got this vaccine morality, and they think like he should be thrown out of the league. It's like, shut up. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from all of you. We got one of the greatest war stories ever. We're going to talk about that on this Veterans Day. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
It's Today is Veterans Day. We're remembering veterans, service that they have given, served, things that they have done, and saying thank you. And I said yesterday, I don't know why I don't tell some stories of some of the greatest things that you're ever going to hear when it comes to veterans, and in particular, the things and the sacrifices they make. And one of the greatest stories, and if you type in, craziest war story ever, greatest war story ever, you'll find several. But usually the one that leads is a story about a guy named Roy Benavides. He was serving in Vietnam. And on May 2nd, 1968, it became known as the 6 Hours of Hell. He was at a Catholic prayer service when he heard that 12 patrolmen that were inserted into a hornet's nest were under fire from anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500 NVA. They tried to extract him 3 times, couldn't get him out. On the 3rd time, when the helicopter landed, Roy could see it was absolutely destroyed. The pilot was alive. He looked at the gunner and said, "What happened?" And he kind of told him, and he said, then the gunner collapsed and he was dead. He jumped in and off he went. All he had was one gun and a medical bag. Got within 75 yards of the trapped men. He jumped from the Huey and raced to the team. On his way over, he got hit in the leg, knocked down. But he continued to move forward. Blast, boom, grenade. Suffering shrapnel wounds in his face, arm and back. He got to the men. 4 were dead. The rest were wounded. He grabbed an AK from one of the dead men, passed around the ammunition. Then he directed airstrikes around the perimeter to keep the NVA. And when they were talking about airstrikes, they're not talking about, hey, do it here. They're essentially saying, we're here too. At this point in time, you got to do something, so lay it out. Lay it out. For the next 6 hours, he fought the NVA over and over and over and over. And continued to. When the helicopter landed, as part of the dead and wounded that he was helping extract, he was shot again in the leg. Ignoring his wounds, he dragged the dead and the wounded to the chopper, providing cover. Chopper moved to the second group of men to extract with Benavides under fire. He was firing at the end, continuing to fire the NVA. So you got this guy, Roy Benavides, who's at church in the morning. Now he's taking on anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500, trying to rescue 12 men, 4 of which are dead, but he's not going to leave them behind. Benavides had made it to the dead team leader, removed his classified documents from around his neck. He was then shot in the stomach by an NVA soldier. Another grenade hit. Boom! Tore his back, his shoulders, just thrashed. He's coughing up blood. Crawled down to the helicopter that crashed, formed a small perimeter, passed out what was left of the ammunition, continued to tell the F-4 Phantom, strike, 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 strike. Helicopter gunship came, pushed the NVA back. Several of the strikes were super close. 6 hours. He continues to endure this. The NVA increases their fire. Mortar rounds falling everywhere. All of the wounded, including Benavides, were hit again. He grabbed all of the seriously wounded American team members, hoisted them over his shoulder, lurched towards the waiting helicopter, gets them all on there. Boom, another one, another one, another one. Gets into a fight with a soldier that he thought was dead, who clubbed him with the butt of his AK, broke his jaw, knocked him to the ground, bayoneted him, in which Roy grabbed that with his right hand, used his Bowie knife in his left, pulling the enemy closer, stabbed him, but not before suffering a slash again on his hand, with the bayonet going all the way through it. As he gets the last of the guys on the copter, He grabs an AK-47 and shoots another 2 enemy soldiers that were close by, dead. So far, he's been shot, stabbed, and hit with shrapnel. He's got a broken jaw. He gets the last of the guys into the helicopter. At this point in time, he's sitting in the helicopter. As they lift off, his intestines fall out, and he pushes them back with one hand. And he's holding the hand of one of his teammates, as he likes to say, who was dying. They get to the safe zone. The doctor looks, doesn't feel a heartbeat. Nothing. Doesn't hear anything. Says he's dead. And as they zip him up, he spits, because that's all he can do. And they realize he's alive. 28 shrapnel wounds in his back. He's been shot 37 times in Banhead. And he survives. Even into the survivalists say he's not going to live. Not going to live. Not going to live. Far away, Fiji Islands, American Brian O'Connor. So you got a guy who's the radio man. He hears this and the frantic call and for the extraction, all this stuff. And he writes a detailed description of the events that day. And said that this guy saved 8 men's lives. Roy Benavides. Nothing really happens, right? That isn't until 1981. When Ronald Reagan, then president, hears about it and says this guy needs a Medal of Honor. And 13 years later, he gets it. Reagan turns to the press and says, if this story of heroism were a movie script, you wouldn't believe it. And we talk about all the time what heroes are, what all of that stuff is about. You know, we hear it all the time. Oh, that person's a hero. Oh, that's what a hero is. He did not think about life. He did not think about anything other than going to help the people that were his teammates. And that's amazing. That right there is a hero. That word gets tossed around too much. And I think every once in a while, we need to be reminded there is a thing that is truly a hero. And then there are other people that take political stances or this, that, and the other. That right there, that's what a hero is. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at me. You can text the program. I do love hearing from every single one of you. I do. So I want to talk about drinking water for a second. I know it sounds weird, but I don't know if you guys saw this. First of all, I'm going to talk about cronyism. When it comes to the Flint water crisis, which the fact that they're still talking about it is just beyond me. But yesterday, they finally approved a settlement.
It's been years in the making, but a U.S. district judge has given final approval to the multi-million-dollar settlement over the Flint water crisis, a staggering $626 million to be divided among the tens of thousands of people impacted after lead was discovered in Flint's drinking water. The state of Michigan, the city of Flint, McLaren Healthcare, and Rowe Engineering were all identified in the settlement as contributors to the crisis. Payouts could begin within 45 days under a formula giving children more money than any adults. Derek Dennis, ABC News.
9 people were indicted, 42 counts. I don't know how many people actually ever see the inside of a prison. Former Governor Rick Snyder was. It is insane. You think about this in this modern society that we live in. The fact that it took as long as it did, the fact that that thing continued to go on and on and on and on and on and on is amazing. It is. But what we talk about, like earlier today, we're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, right? And people are watching that trial. This to me, like when you talk about criminality, in all the things that went on there, but also the crony capitalism, the looking the other way, the way that both big business and government at the local and state level were able to do things. That, to me, is just the most egregious thing. They'll get some money, but for some people, man, their lives are forever affected. And then you go there and people say, well, yeah, people are still drinking out of bottled water. And all, I mean, it's insane. You guys couldn't have just got them all like special filters. Hey, guys, everybody's getting one of these. Horrible. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Well, in the future, they can do this.
We're exploring innovative technology for how to recycle water, something we're considering perhaps for the future.
Every time we're using water, whether it's agriculturally or domestically, direct potable reuse provides us an additional opportunity to be more efficient.
Direct potable reuse basically takes the water from the water resource recovery facility. Instead of releasing it to the creek, we would then pipe it to our water treatment plant, treat it further to meet drinking water standards, and then send it to your home.
Toilet water recycle? If you don't tell people, they'd probably be like, I'm okay with that. But once people know, they'll be like, I'm sure some will be okay.
This is actually carbon. It's granular active carbon. That carbon is absorbing whatever's left, the contaminants, the concern that's left.
To try some water.
I knew that they had to purify and clean water some way, but I was really wowed in it.
Water?
Good. Really.
They're just trying to get any water they can in Flint. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from all of you. The good, the bad, the indifferent. Raycon best, the best. Earbuds around, period, case closed. And right now, just in time for the holiday season, how about 20% off already the best earbuds? And they start under $70. Up to 20% off the best earbuds. Ray J's put together the best around. Sound quality design with three new ways to listen. Sound profiles. Pure mode, balanced mode, bass mode. 8 hours of playtime, 32 hours of battery life, seamless Bluetooth pairing, noise isolating fit. You will love, 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 love these. Love these. Love these. Everyday earbuds. Everyday earbuds from Raycon. What are you waiting for? You want them? Absolutely. You want the best sound quality? Yep. You want them at a price that's amazing? Absolutely. 45-day happiness guarantee. Up to 20% off. Go to buyraycon.com/chat today. Unlock exclusive deals up to 20% off your Raycon order. Now, this isn't going to last forever. Take advantage of it now. Don't miss this great deal. Buyraycon.com/chat. Buyraycon.com/chat to unlock 20% off your Raycon order. Buyraycon.com/chat. Chad Benson Show.
Don't let the Washington Beltway strangle you. This is where the exhausted majority comes to refuel, realign, and reevaluate. This is Chad Benson.
That's us at Chad Benson Show Twitter. We were talking about it earlier. Twitter is offering the opportunity to spend $2.99 a month for an undo button. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out, like, what exactly would be the benefit. Because with the undo tweet, subscribers can preview and perfect tweets before they are sent. So you kind of do that anyways. They also get access to the most shared articles in the network. I told the guys, if they're really smart, what they'll do is they'll give people the opportunity to have a mulligan. That's the NFT we're going to sell. A mulligan. You get a mulligan NFT. Non-fungible token. Right? Remember when you were a kid and you didn't have any money, right? You're young and you just, I'm going to give my mom a coupon to do the dishes or for a free hug. This will be for a free get out of cancel culture jail. Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome. Wouldn't that be kind of neat? It's like, yeah, you know what? I said something. It's some people are taking it bad. They're not going to cancel me. I'm not going to use my mulligan on this one. I'm holding on to my mulligan. If you don't know what a mulligan is, so in golf, it's basically, the shot was bad. I'm going to hit another shot and just count it as that shot. Kind of like, it's a do-over, right? And so in tournaments, not professionally, but when you go play in your local car dealership will have a charity tournament, you can go in and they raise money. They'll give you an opportunity, hey, for $30 you can buy, 3 mulligans. And you're like, oh, cool, or whatever, 4 mulligans. And you're like, that's great. Or it's $10 a mulligan. And you throw down $50, it goes to charity, but you get your mulligan, which means if you have a shot, right, you're going to go for the green in 2 and you hit it in the water, you're like, I'm taking a mulligan. And then you could try it again. You're like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a mulligan. Maybe we need those in life. Maybe we should start selling those. The Chad Benson Show mulligans. Non-fungible token. So when you get into trouble, you can redeem your mulligan, and in doing so, you get out of cancel jail. Wouldn't be the worst idea. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Do love hearing from every single one of you. Biden spoke yesterday. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. He spoke talking about, all the things that are going on with inflation, but touting how good everything is as well.
We still face challenges, and we have to tackle them. We have to tackle them head on. And on the good side, we're seeing the highest growth rate in decades, the fastest decrease in unemployment at this point ever since 1950. Jobs are up, wages are up, values are up, and savings are up. But we got problems too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if people are buying all of that. The problems are very real. They're sitting right there. You know how I know? Because you're hearing stories about food banks, especially this time of year, and the struggles they're having.
Food banks across the country are feeling the pinch as more American families struggling with surging grocery prices are turning to them for help. Supply chain issues only add to the worries that some may be forced to offer smaller servings or will no longer be able to stock staples like peanut butter, which costs nearly twice what it did a year ago. It also means as the holidays approach, some food banks may not have enough turkeys, stuffing, and cranberry sauce for Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah. And food banks are struggling. Great that you're touting all the awesome stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I think we should also talk about all the other things. Who's with me? Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 political tribes, according to Pew Research Center. 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which one are you? We got the usuals, right? Democrats, Republicans. You got the outsider left, establishment liberals, committed conservatives, the ambivalent right. 4 of the groups lean left, 4 lean right. And then there are the stressed sideliners who have minimal interest in politics. Minimal interest. Let's take a look at the sides, shall we? In this corner, 12% of the Dems who lean right. Right, so you got 12% of the people who lean right, very liberal across the board, right? Most politically active in the Democratic-oriented groups, relatively young, highly educated. Many back Sanders, Warren. You have the establishment liberals, which is 23%, solidly liberal, highly politically engaged, strong support for the Democratic Party and its leaders, upbeat about politics, nations, favor compromise, racially and ethnically diverse, similar age to the population as a whole. Then you have the mainstays, right? Lean Dem, mostly identify as moderates, largest single group in the coalition, 28%, older, relatively low share college educated. One of the most racially and ethnically diverse groups, less liberal than the other Democrat-oriented groups on immigration, military, and crime, right? And again, this is where we find ourselves here, right? Then you got the outsider left. Very liberal. Very dissatisfied with even their own party. Youngest by far, but also the least active. On the other side, right? You've got the right. So we've gone through left, 12%. Outside left, you're looking 16%. But the real ones are the establishment and mainstays. You put them together, that makes up 51% of their party, which is leans left, classic liberal, somewhat moderate, racially diverse, some college, if not graduate. On the right, faith, flag conservatives, they call them, 23%. Staunchly conservative, nearly all issues. Most say America stands above all other countries. Oldest of the groups, highly politically active, overwhelmingly Christian, strong Trump backers, most express support for politicians who incorrectly, as they say in this, claim he won the election. Committed conservatives, 15%. Lean Republican, very conservative on economics, favor foreign policy that works with allies, overwhelmingly voted for Trump, but lukewarm towards him in a way that maybe others aren't. Politically active, absolutely. Most educated of the groups. Then you got populist, right. Highly restrictive views on immigration. Very critical of fairness of economic system as well as banks and large corporations. Strong Trump supporters. The most likely not to have a college degree. And as far as demographics and where they live, the most rural. And then you have the ambivalent right. Conservative views, government, social safety net, more moderate on immigration, tilt Republican, but don't feel at home in the GOP. Youngest of the group, less religious than the other groups. So what you have there is faith, uber conservative, populist right, committed conservative, and ambivalent. But the populists and faith and conservatives, those are 46%. 46%. The committed conservatives, 15%, and the ambivalent right, which is 18%. And then you've got the people that just don't care, who kind of ambivalent about it all, stay on the sidelines, not really getting or understanding politics in a way where it really matters to them. And that's not a good thing. It isn't. And that's where we are right now. I think that seems kind of right, right? That seems kind of right. The sideliners, as they call them, the stressed sideliners. I think most people, if given the opportunity, would love to see a third party. Would love to see a third party. A choice that's not, and I'm not talking because there's plenty of fringe parties, right? There's plenty of those. There's the Green Party. You got the Libertarians. None of them are well organized. None of them have any money behind them. But we need that. We do. We need something else than what we have. We right now have we have two parties who have a monopoly on so many things in our politics, and it causes stagnation, infighting, and I don't think it's healthy for us at this point. So you got to ask yourself, which one are you? The one that's interesting, again, when it comes to the left side of the aisle, the people that are like, yeah, I voted for Trump, but I'm not into him, but my choice was that or Biden or something else. That's kind of the way they feel. I can't get behind this over here, but not thrilled by this. But you're asking me to make a choice. My choice is this. I think there's a lot of people out there that feel that way. There is. I mean, yesterday we talked to Miles Taylor, who was anonymous in the original Anonymous when it came to writing the op-ed piece. He was working in the Trump organization about the chaos and craziness and what people say behind closed doors that they won't say in front of him. I think we all know that. And that's in everything, right? Like, how many of you work with people that annoy you, you can't stand, they may be your boss or this, that, and the other, and there are things that you would never say to their face, but behind, you talk to other people and they'll share with you things about this person or that. That's life, because you're worried about your gig. But it's that exhausted majority of people out there that look around and think, 18% on the ambivalent right, committed conservatives, another 15, that takes you up to 33%. And then over here, that's on the right, and on the left, you got 51% who look at the Democratic Party and aren't thrilled by it either. Want compromise. And then you've got those people in the center who, and I'm not talking about the center of the aisle. I'm just talking about the people at the center of politics who look and say, I can't stand it. I don't want to get involved. I'm not going to vote. Have very minimal interest in it. And that's not good. It's not good at all. They say the stressed sideliners make up 15% of the populace. 10% are voters. And this includes people who have both liberal and conservative views. They tend to be more liberal economically and conservative socially. They also tend to be economically stressed. What they have in common with the general disinterest in politics, only 45% of this group voted in 2020. That was kind of split, 50-50. That's where we are right now. We have 9 tribes, of which 2 parties, 4 tribes in each party. And you wonder why. It used to be Republicans, Democrats, let's see what we can get past each other. How can we compromise? Now you're fighting with your own party to even bring anything to the floor to get a vote before you ever have a chance of fighting against the other party. Could you imagine running a race where, like, all right, here's the deal. It's a hurdle event, but at different times, we're going to throw up other hurdles that you're not going to see. Huh? Yeah. This is going to go well. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. I do. If you guys haven't heard, prices in pretty much everything are through the roof. On average, 26% more you're spending at the grocery store. So it's not that 3, 4, 5% a lot of people thought. But to show you what the effect of gas can be, even in stuff where there is no supply chain issues, there's one thing in here you guys need to listen to when it talks about the prices of everything rising.
This is hitting Americans in every aisle of the grocery store. A gallon of milk a year ago would have cost you $3.38. Today, it's more like $3.66. Eggs up almost 12%. Cereal prices up 3.5%. Fresh fruits and vegetables up 3%. Ground beef prices up 13.4%. And bacon up 20% from a year ago.
Yeah. Up. But you heard that about milk. Guess what? To show you what it is that little things can do to affect the price of something, you see the price of fuel and the cost of fuel. We have an oversupply in a majority of the country of milk. But just because of things like the cost of fuel, you're seeing a rise in something that we have an abundance of. And it shows you what issues are out there. And when you look at Biden and you say, why haven't you at least broached the subject? Maybe we cut the gas tax till February 1st. Maybe we do that. Oh, we couldn't do that. We could. We got enough money out there. There's the stuff. We're printing money left, right, and center, right? And by the way, we printed so much with the last one. And I'm not talking about I'm talking about all these stimulus things, that there's still money sitting out there that we could be tapping into. That say, you know what, we're going to take this and why don't we give people a break at the pump? Why don't we? It is a perfect example of what can happen when one little thing like energy prices go up and you start to see how that can have an effect, taking away even the supply chain and the lack of. Even when you have an abundance of something. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Love, 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 love Rough Greens. Give it to my dog every night. It's a supplement, goes on top of his food. All three of my dogs take it, and they love it. They lick the bowl clean. And it's got vitamins, minerals, probiotics, all of these amazing things. It's part supplement in the way I look at it. It's also part like have seasoning salt. And we didn't change their food. We just throw it on top of their food, and away they go. But my older dog, Doodle, is healthier, happier, has more energy. His hips don't hurt the way that they used to. And he does things that he's never really done. He's living his best life. And for that, it's just amazing. Right now, Rough Greens wants you to try it before you buy it. RUFFgreens.com/Chad. Roughgreens.com/Chad gets you a free bag of Rough Greens. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. RUFFgreens.com/Chad or call 833-MY-DOG-77. Cover the cost of shipping. Get a free bag of Rough Greens. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Helen Keller is a Nazi terrorist that is a male. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Hitler?
Who's Hitler?
Vaccines work, but only the Chad Benson Show is 100% effective against stupidity.
Do you know what D-Day is? D-Day.
In person? A rapper? God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever you find your favorite woke-free podcasts. This is the Chad Benson Show.
You listen to that. It's like, how stupid are kids? Helen Keller? You think Helen Keller's a Nazi? Yeah. Led the Germans in World War II. What? Yeah, you didn't know that? No, I'm thinking that's wrong. No, it totally is. Yeah. Led the Germans in World War II. Well, probably would have walked them off a cliff. Because couldn't see. Lies! Oh, my Lord. We were just talking about how expensive stuff was. And producer Phil goes, "This is depressing." I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "Because bacon." I'm like, you make choices, right? You're sitting there and you're like, I'm working through. I'm not giving up that. I'll give up fruits. You don't eat fruit. I'll give up vegetables. You already don't eat vegetables. All right, I'm not giving up bacon. I draw the line somewhere. I work too hard. I work too hard not to have fruits and vegetables. Stay out of my basket. Bacon to go in there. One of the things, though, if you're an employer right now, and you're looking for employees, and you have the opportunity as an employer to have your employees at times either hybrid or give them the opportunity to work from home, with the rising cost of petrol, gas, it might not be the worst idea to float around, hey, come work for me. You'll have a chance to work at home. Because the amount of money you'd save on gas would be huge. Right now, gas is up nationwide over $1.40 to where it was last year. So it's up over $1. How many of you out there are filling up a couple times a week And if you didn't have to do that, what would that be like at this moment in time? That's a mini raise. Little things like that, I think employees are going to be looking for, like, how can you help out? And there's a position where, as an employer, if you have the opportunity to have people come in, if you have the opportunity to hybrid, but come in for 1 day a week and then, 2 or 3 days a week at home, or this week you're here twice, next week you only have to be here once, those kind of things go a long way, especially right now in the hunting for employees that are going on. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Text the program. Love hearing from all of you. We're telling stories throughout the day of heroic people. We've got a couple more coming up as we celebrate this Veterans Day. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Today being Veterans Day, we're telling stories of veterans who fought in wars past. Earlier, if you want to check out the podcast, I told a story about Roy Benavidez. If you go look at some of the craziest war stories of all time, guy in Vietnam who took on about 1,000+ North Vietnamese and saved 8 of the 12 men, got all 12 of the men back, but not before being shot and stabbed, shrapnel, 37 times. Survived. There's plenty of heroes out there. How about this guy? Private Henry Johnson. They called him the Harlem Hellfighter. What'd this guy do? Well, he was in his 369th Infantry Regiment. It was an all-black World War I unit. They all called themselves the Harlem Hellfighters, but this guy was the guy. He successfully prevented enemy forces from breaking through Allied defenses. That's right. Being attacked late one night, he defended a post along with his teammate, Needleman Roberts. Both were injured in grenades. They have suffered grave injuries. As the Germans approached at the Argonne Forest in France, while they waited for reinforcements, Roberts fed ammunition to Johnson, who fired back against the Germans. Eventually, they ran out of bullets. So then he began clubbing Germans with the butt of his rifle, charged them with his bolo knife, saved Roberts from being captured and taken as prisoner. The two defended the post for well over an hour by themselves. Finally, reinforcements showed up. They looked around and they said, there's no way at all these guys should be here and alive. They were awarded with the Croix de Guerre, the War Cross, which is the highest military honor you can receive. The French gave it to him. When asked what happened, he said, there wasn't anything so fine about it, just fought for my life. A rabbit would have done that. But you did. In this day, I think we look back and I think that we forget about all of the men and women who've served, some who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and some who gave a sacrifice in ways that we don't understand and are fighting it to this day. When you look at suicide rates, both among active and retired military veterans, the amount of homelessness, unemployment, the struggle with PTSD and mental health issues, drug addiction. It's not something we as a nation should be proud of. Quite the opposite. We should be doing more. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. But we're a divided nation. I think we know that. We're a divided nation, and it's, you know, we talked about the 9 different tribes. You know, you got the stressed sideliners who are 15% of the country who really don't want anything to do with politics. You know, they're both liberal and, you know, Democrat, Republican thing. But, you know, you got the 4 groups inside of the Republican Party. I mean, we're at a point now where, I mean, we fight over everything, right? One side demonizes another side demonizes another side. They go back and forth and back and forth. And it's ridiculous. It really is. It really, really, really is. Even we're at the point now, it's like, you know what? Hey, you're black, yeah, and you're a Republican, yeah, well, you're a white supremacist. What? That can't be. Yeah. That's what you hear over and over again. That's what you hear over and over again. How dare you not be a Democrat if you're black, right? How dare you not be this or that? And I find that to be so disingenuous and stupid because you don't have an answer for it. Winsome Sears, who is the lieutenant governor-elect in Virginia, she's black, right? She's an immigrant. She's a veteran. But because she wasn't on the left side of the aisle, people have deemed her evil, bad, a puppet of white supremacy. But it shows you how out of touch and insane people are when it comes to stuff like this. Both sides do it. But the right won this side, if you will. They won this one. So we've got to figure out why she is who she is.
A black white supremacist. That's possible now. They're saying that.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime a black person says anything like doesn't go with the Democratic narrative, they said that person's carrying water for white supremacists. They're out of their mind. That lady that was the new lieutenant governor of Virginia is a black woman, sponsored by the NRA. I mean, I don't know what all of her accolades are, but incredibly articulate lady, powerful woman. They're saying that her becoming the lieutenant governor is a victory for white supremacy.
She's a black woman.
She's a black woman.
Yeah. That's where we are. She's a black woman. She's got strong feelings about things like school.
These latest scores show us that by the time Virginia's children reach the 8th grade, 35% of Asian children can't do math, 45% of white children, 70% of Latino children. And by the way, when it comes to black children, 84% of them are failing math, and 85% of them are functionally illiterate. In Virginia. And they almost never catch up.
Racist! How dare you say that? Racist!
Here's something else that we know. By the time our children go to, let's say they've chosen college, fully 65% of them spend the first year in remedial education. So they're paying for something in college that they should have gotten in high school. That's unacceptable. Furthermore, the juvenile detention centers, 85% of those children are functionally illiterate. The school to prison pipeline has already started.
She sounds like a white supremacist, doesn't she? Absolutely. Of course she does. 100%. Can't you hear it? Because she's also saying this.
Something's got to give. Parents are asking to be given the vouchers so that they can decide where to send their children. We need charter schools. The moms and dads, they're not telling me they want more money for their child to go to that same school. They want choice. They want choice. And so let's give it to them.
It's not the way it works. Throw more money at it. It's not the way it works. Got to throw more money at the problem. No, how about we spend wisely? But with that kind of take from a woman of color gets you deemed racist because you weren't on the other side, which is no choice for school. We just need to throw more money at the problems. And if the kids can't read, it's because they're victims. Rather than say, no, they're being victimized at the school level through bureaucracy and crap. You say that, you're what? You're a racist. It's the way people look at it. And it's so much easier in an argument to look at somebody and call them a Nazi, a homophobe. You're a transphobic. You've got white supremacy ideals. You've got and to do that, than to have a conversation. And when you see somebody who's like supposedly of your ilk, well, I mean, you're a Democrat, right? No, well, she's a Republican. She's conservative. Well, how can that be? Look at the color of her skin. Does not, as she said, nowhere on her birth certificate that says that you have to vote this way based on the color of your skin. Nowhere. Nowhere does it say that. So it pisses people off even more because, oh, how dare she? But it's so easy nowadays to say something like people said last week, which was what? Oh, well, the only reason she won is because she's a vaudevillian actress or a puppet with white supremacy moving the lips. Because that's easy to do. This is Elie Mystal, who is he's a professor. He's on MSNBC all the time. Listen to what he says about why white people voted for Glenn Youngkin against McAuliffe, a white guy. But just put this blanketly across the country when somebody doesn't win.
What the Democrats' theory of the case is that the white non-college educated voter cares about things like kitchen table issues, like infrastructure and pipes and how many gallons of milk you can put on the table. I contend that what they care about is using their guns on black people and getting away with it. That's what they want. That's what they actually are in it for.
So, if you're white and educated, remember.
What the Democrats' theory of the case is that the white non-college educated voter.
So if you're a white non-college educated voter, so if you've gone to school, you've got a degree, you've been enlightened and woke, you are absolutely better than the other person who is not as elite as you because they didn't go to school. And the only reason they didn't go to school is because they're ignorant and stupid and they long for the day of not putting bacon on the table, of not making money, but that their person wins so they can continue to pick up guns and shoot black people. Because that's what every person sits around and talks about. No pushback? Nah. Why would there be? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet, text, love hearing from you. It is Veterans Day. We got one more great Veteran Day story. So we talk about veterans, people who served this country, and the heroic things that they did. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. It's the Chad Benson Show.
No fake outrage here, just the real thing. The Chad Benson Show.
It is Veterans Day. Remember the veterans, men and women who have served this country, continue to do so. Some have paid the ultimate price. If you go to Arlington, they'll tell you the number one visited site is John F. Kennedy. A close second is a man who became famous as an actor, but he rose to fame as a soldier. Audie Murphy, famous actor back in the day. But that was after his heroics in World War II. And they were heroic. He is the most decorated soldier in World War II. The most decorated soldier. The tales of him were many. None so probably more big than what he did, taking over a tired regiment that was beat down and exhausted. Frustrated, as he described it. 18 men were left in Company B as they waited for an attack from the Germans. There were several other men that were also scattered about that were Americans and allies when they were attacked by Germans. A German tank, an armory and infantry group moved in to Holzwer. The barrage was massive. And they said you could feel the thunder. 6 tanks, 250 foot soldiers. The fact that they said they didn't spot it sooner was amazing. The artillery officer at the battalion headquarters arranged for the 2nd Battalion to fire. They said, I no sooner gave order to fire than all hell broke loose. The Germans started their preliminary barge, said First Class Private Don Ekman. You could see the pennants, the antenna of the German tanks. That got our attention right away. We saw the sea of white infantry coming towards us, and then it was on. And it was absolutely on. But these men were battered and beat like you couldn't believe. That's when Audie Murphy told his men, you guys need to go. You guys need to go, and you need to get into the forest, and you need to hide. He jumped into a busted tank and started to open fire. And open fire he did big time. Cutting down more than just a few of the oncoming Germans. More than just a few of them. He kept telling his men, don't keep going back. They said they were getting mad at him. But he understood what was happening. Those guys were beat down. After he exhausted all of his carbine ammunition, he was preparing to fall back with a 50 caliber machine gun on the turret of the burning tank destroyer caught his eye. He soon jumped up there, reached the vehicle's fuel and ammunition, looked around, knew the gun was only chance to stop the Germans, and he began to spray bullets. He said, when I saw, this is Private First Class Abramsky said, when I saw Lieutenant Murphy climb on top of the tank and the burst of the machine gun from the advancing infantry started to, batter against the hull and tread, I knew. He goes, those things wouldn't have any effect on the tank. So instead of firing at them, he just took on the infantry. And infantry he did. He saved his men that day, and Audie Murphy would go down to become the most decorated soldier ever. He had over 200 plus actual verified kills. Once he was done there, he went home to sell war bonds, and from there he became a famous actor. But people talk about that night and the fact that if it wasn't for him, none of those men would have ever gotten home. He died in 1971 in a plane crash, and he is buried right next to John F. Kennedy. Again, a hero. To all the soldiers, men and women out there, God bless you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for your service. I'll see you Friday. Night, Jack.
This is The Chad Benson Show.